hell? Don't push. Hey, stop with the pushing already. Hey, I'm fine. Oh, help! Help! Oh, no! Put me back in. Put me back in, please. Buddy, let go of my head and put me back inside. Oh! Who is that? Who's that? Who are you? Oh, no. Oh, lady, I'm freezing.
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Tennis Podcast, your absolutely favorite #1 super duper awesome podcast where two sweetie sisters talk about movies that impacted their childhoods. I'm Sweetie.
And I'm Sweetie.
And hello people. Today, I'm Terry Gross.
Hello, Earthlings.
This week, we decided to double up and do an extra one because today was a sad day for us.
That dumb fuck Donald Trump won the election or whatever, I guess.
Yeah. Cheeto-encrusted hairpiece poop stain is now our president, which, you know, we're going to accept at this point. Hillary told me I had to. But what a freaking day, guys. It was very sad, and I thought, or we thought collectively, that people could use some laughs.
Yep, and we brainstormed, and we said, what movie will give us joy? And I said, how about a movie with talking babies? Because how can a talking baby be any funnier than... Oh, I know. If the talking baby had a British accent, that'd be funnier.
What movie is that?
I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, if there was a British baby talking, like the British mice and the witches, very cute. So we picked what is our second favorite babies talking movie, and it is...
Look Who's Talking.
What's our second favorite babies talking movie?
Look Who's Talking too.
Oh my god, weird. So fun fact about us is that we often would watch only the sequel of a movie and not the original, and then that would become what we knew of the movie's franchise or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know why this happened for this movie because, probably that one came out later, and we just was like closer to when we were watching movies and getting stuff at the video store. So we probably had to like go backtrack and see this one, the original story of how things came to be in this Look Who's Talking world.
And it was probably on TV more often, I think, just a guess. But, so, let's dive into the synopsis.
No, I wanted to talk about a couple more things.
Talk about a couple more things, sorry.
Jeez, cut me off.
I forgot. Just so you know, we already recorded this, and then we realized we weren't recording it.
Shh, don't tell them these things.
It's behind the scenes.
No, there's no behind the scenes. So this movie, filmed in 1989, another 1989er. Guys, it's really crazy. I'm just obsessed with it. How, like, every movie is from 1989. What a magical year that was. I was 6. I don't remember it. It was great. Starring Kirstie Alley, not Christy, as I maybe get confused now and then. Now and then. Hey, love that movie. We always say that word.
I was like,
we joke.
what? I thought you were actually
Someday we're going to watch that movie.
You were saying that she was in Now and Then, and I was like, no. And I was like, you mean Now and Later? And just kidding.
Also starring very cute John Travolta.
So cute.
Pre-Scientology days, I believe. Adorbs. Also starring Olympia Dukakis, Abe Vigoda, who just passed away recently, blah, 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 George Siegel, and which we just did some research on, Twink Kaplan, who was the teacher in Clueless.
She must be a Amy Heckerling, a regular. Just, I don't know, maybe just from these two.
Please tell me why you'd want to go by Twink.
I don't know.
You know what? If anyone would be a twink, she would be a twink. She looks like a twink.
Are you saying she's like, isn't that like a gay man? Like,
oh my God. Is it?
I think so.
Oh God, I take it back, twink. She's really very cute. Anyway, those are my little tidbits, if you will.
Cool.
But let's, wade into the water of the Sweetie synopsis. Yeah, Sweeties. Here we go. Molly, no last name, is a 33-year-old singleton living in the hot streets of Manhattan. She's an accountant, and she's having an affair with her client, Albert, who owns the Chubby Charles restaurants, whatever those are. Albert is married. He has 2 kids and a bulimic wife who he refuses to leave because she's sick or something like that. Molly's really torn. Sorry, I have a cough up in my mouth. Molly's really torn. He's going to leave his wife. He's going to leave his wife. They never leave your wife.
That old chestnut.
Meanwhile, like, this guy is not someone worth, like, sticking around for. He fucking sucks.
Or having sex with. I'm confused.
He's ugh.
I'm confused how this relationship
She
started.
does say he's good in bed, though.
He's old and crusty.
I don't know. I can't even.
Nope.
Anyway, they have a little dalliance in his office. She does not put her diaphragm in. And sweetie, what happens?
Or maybe she did, and the sperm snuck around it. Because remember in the second one, the sperm are like getting around that thing, and they're like, "I figured a way in."
Oh yeah, but no, I think she just because it was like spur of the moment because they were like, "Oh, hot and heavy."
I think she needs a new diaphragm though, if that's the case. If the sperm can sneak around it, I think that's not a good diaphragm.
I think women with diaphragms, and I'm not speaking from experience because I don't have one. The annoying thing about those is that you have to like put them in a couple like half hour before or something.
So you have to plan.
So there's no spontaneous sexual intercourse.
It's the same thing as a condom. It's just like, hold on, I got to do this.
And then wait a half hour?
Half hour.
Why did you say half hour? I don't know.
You said a half hour.
Oh,
I didn't.
No, that's not true.
You're crazy.
You're crazy. You're crazy. You know what I think about diaphragms. I really don't. Anyway, so what happens, Andre, after this little tussle?
The sperm come down the fallopian. No. Wait.
It's not an anatomy class.
That's wrong.
But that's right.
Yeah. No, that's grossly inaccurate.
What?
I think the egg comes down the fallopian tube and then goes and lands.
That is grossly inaccurate. God.
Anyways, the sperm are sailing down the vagina, I guess. And they're going, and they find the egg. A sperm gets inside. A baby is beginning. Cut to, I guess, a few weeks later. Molly is at work. She is sick. She throws up in the toilet. She's like, "Oh, I had that stomach bug." And her friend's like, "What stomach bug?" She's like, "There's a stomach bug." Nope, there's not. She's got weird craving. She's eating a lot. Finally, she puts it together. She does a very bizarre pregnancy test in her bathroom. It's like a chemistry experiment.
Yeah, she's putting like drops into a test tube. And then she's like, wait, what was the test called? It was like Know It All.
Know It
Yeah.
Now?
Know It Now.
Or
It was
something.
really
I
weird.
don't know. It was weird, but is that what pregnancy tests were like in 1989?
I don't know. I did not take one. I was only 6.
Let's call Carol. Carol, Mom? Let's call her right now and see what happens. It'd be funny. Funny segment. Funny segment. Positive. Test is positive. Yeah. She's pregnant.
She's going to keep the baby.
Because her doctor, Dick Face, who looks like a baby just that came out of the womb, tells her that her biological clock is ticking even though she's 33. Which is worse than when my doctor told me that, I mean, it's not as bad as when my doctor told me that my biological clock was ticking and I was 24.
Ugh.
So, fuck that.
Dump that doctor.
But she decides to keep it. That's fine.
But with the caveat that Albert is going to eventually leave and, like, be the father to this baby and whatever. So, it's like when he's really, like, stringing her along or whatever. So, like, she's pregnant. She goes to a clothing store with her friend, and they're like trying on clothes, and some people, like a couple, is like messing around in the dressing room, and they fall out of the dressing room, and who is it but crusty dusty asshole Albert cheating on her with his interior decorator,
another young pretty woman. I don't get it.
So then they have a little fight, and he goes, "I'm in love with her, I've moved out, and like we're gonna live together." Such a dick. And he's like, "I'm sorry, but I'm going through a selfish phase," he tells his mistress who he knocked up. What is up? God.
So messed up.
But then, what happens?
Well, then she cuts off ties with Albert. She goes into, well, I'm just saying that makes her say, like, oh, fuck this guy. And then she goes into labor because she gets upset. She hails down a taxi. Who's driving the taxi? Oh, it's John Travolta. Woo! His name is James or Jimmy. Jim James. He is like, oh no, oh shit, she's pregnant. He does this crazy taxi drive through the streets of New York when they almost die like 10 times. Gets her to the hospital. The nurse and the staff there think that he's the father, so they give him a scrub. They give him scrubs, and so he's actually in the delivery room with her. She gives birth to the baby, which she names Michael, aka Mikey. She's in love right away, obviously. Mikey.
With the baby or James?
The baby. Okay. She doesn't know James is there.
Yeah, that's right. She was on drugs. She got a little bit of drugs.
And meanwhile, so this whole time, Mikey inside of her belly, uterus. That's such a child thing to say.
We missed the whole point of this movie.
Whoops. So the whole point is that the baby talks. So in the womb, the baby is talking. He grows like his penis, and he's like, "Oh look, another little arm grew in. How am I gonna get that in my mouth?"
We missed the voice of the baby is Bruce Willis.
Yeah, of
We didn't say
course.
that.
Pretty famous. Pretty amazing. Also, the baby oddly looks a little bit like Bruce Willis. I don't know. I just wonder.
The cartoon baby or the real baby that comes
The
out?
real baby that comes out. Like, that could easily be Bruce Willis as a baby. Do you think they cast the baby with that
The
in
little
mind?
baby or the older
The
baby?
the older
There's
one,
two
I guess.
babies.
Both of them. They're both like toe heads with like, I mean, I don't. Did he have blonde hair? I don't remember.
Bruce Willis? Oh, no idea. I haven't seen him in hair in a dog's age.
Anyway, so the baby comes out. It's very funny. Baby is talking, but no one can hear him except for other babies if he comes in contact with him. But he's basically just talking to himself. But it's very funny.
Yeah, and it's kind of like they filmed it, we think, like a little bit improv-y, where like they just filmed the baby doing stuff, and then they went back, and Bruce Willis like filled in like the movements.
I think that is the plan.
So Molly now is like facing life as a single mom, and it's really hard, and she has to. She's still working and dealing with babies crying all the time, and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, she's like kind of freaking out because she doesn't want to be alone, so she like, kind of goes on all these dates. Meanwhile, James, the taxi driver, is still in her life.
As you are when you drive someone to the hospital that you don't know.
He's obsessed with her. He's in love with her. So he finds out where she lives because she left her wallet in his cab. And then he starts using her mailing address as like, this is so random, as a residency so that his like grandfather can get a different apartment in New York City. Weird.
It's a nursing home. Let's call it what it is.
Nursing home. So then so she finds out this little scheme. So basically he's like a schemey scammer. And she's like, okay, like you have to babysit for my kid, and we'll call it like even. So then he starts babysitting for Mikey once a week, twice a week?
Twice a week, 2 aerobics classes, and 1 Friday.
Right. A week?
Yes. So
Wow.
he sees him 3 times a week.
Okay. So then Mikey grows up, and he's like his little surrogate father, and they're like buddies. Meanwhile, Molly and James, Christiana and John Travolta, are forming like a little love relationship, and they have a really good chemistry. They're always like flirting, and she's always like hitting him and being all sassy.
Yeah, they're in love. He knows it, but she doesn't for a little while. So they get in a weird fight at some point, and then they end contact, and then Kirstie Alley's character Molly gets a phone call from the grandfathers. They start to, but then she freaks out because she has this vision of what their life will be like, where he just scams everything and finds
he doesn't have any money.
He's a dumpster diver in the future, basically. Before that was a cool thing. He does it and finds like moldy lettuce. Yeah. It's gross. The part always grosses me out.
I hate that part.
Ugh, he's like burping. So the nursing home calls. He says, you got to come down here. She's like, okay. So she's such a nice person that she goes down there and takes care of the situation.
With the grandfather who's like eating too many candy bars and is like
assaulting the nurses. She leaves Mikey with the grandfather and an orderly, and then the orderly, fucking DJ, needs to go to lunch. And he's like, you okay with that kid? No, he's not okay with that kid. He just punched nurses after he ate a couple candy bars.
The villain of this film is DJ the orderly.
Totally DJ. Everything is his fault. So because of that, little Esther goes down the hallway, and then the grandpa's like, Esther.
Esther's an old woman at the nursing home
who he has a crush on, the grandfather. So he chases after Esther. Mikey sees a cab go by outside, thinks it's James. He's like, oh, James, hey. And he goes off on his own in what is basically the craziest baby adventure I've ever seen that did not result in a death.
Baby, stay out.
Yeah. So somehow he ends up going through the nursing home. He gets a breadstick from an old lady who thinks he's somebody else.
That must be Ida's grandson. Here you go.
Emily was like, what? That's not that. No, his name's Victor.
Vincent.
I was like, she thinks he's somebody else. Settle down. So Mikey goes out into the alleyway where there's a car hooked to a tow truck. He says, oh, James taught me how to drive one time. And by taught him, I mean he was a baby in the car seat, in the front seat, very unsafe. And James gave him a step-by-step. So he gets in the car, puts the breadstick in the keyhole. At that moment, the tow truck starts, so he thinks he's starting his car, and he moves the wheel. He's like, hey, I'm driving. So he's in the car. Molly and James see him leaving, so they see that he's in the car, so they go after him in the taxi cab. Another crazy chase ensues where they almost get killed again 20 times. Finally, they get to the tow truck, but Mikey has left. He exits the car and is standing in the middle of a busy New York street. Cars everywhere.
Like,
I think
not
about
even
one,
when
or
you're
about to
walking.
turn
Yeah.
one,
How old are you when you
or
walk?
2. I think you're 2.
know.
1. You're
No.
starting to walk when you're 1,
I think
and then
he's
you.
maybe a little over 1.
Yeah.
As annoying people say, like, he's 27 months.
Just
Or I guess
say
that'd
it
be
in
over
years.
2 years.
Yeah, fuck that shit. So
He's 18 months.
So they're like, Mikey, stop! And then they run towards him, and then a car almost hits him, swerves, and there's maybe like a 10-car accident because of him standing there. Mikey's okay. He's not safe. I mean, he's safe. And Molly and James look at each other, and they gaze into each other's eyes, and they just make out. And they're in it. They're in it for the long haul now.
They love each other. Well, Mikey goes, Dada! And he's
yeah.
never said Dada before, and they're like freaking out.
He's
So,
never said anything before.
oh yeah, it was his first word.
I feel
So-
shitty if I were Molly. I'd be like, I fucking raised
I'm
you.
a single mom. So happily ever after, little happy family born, real sweet film.
Super sweets. And, well, last scene, Molly and James make a baby themselves.
Yeah.
And that leads into the sequel, which we love dearly. So that's the flick. It's very funny. You forget. I don't know if for some reason this movie has a bad. I feel like it has a bad association with it. Like people don't want to don't know that it's a good movie. Maybe. You don't get that? I don't know. I just feel like I'm embarrassed sometimes. And I'm like, I love Look. Maybe it's just because I'm like, I love Look Who's Talking Too.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Are you insane?
Well, I'd like to start off with my first impressions of this movie when I was a wee tot.
I bet they're my same impressions.
We'll see. So I saw this movie and it confused me so much because you see a couple kissing very passionately and then sperm comes down the uterus or whatever. That's how I thought you made babies for like literally 5 years. So confused. And then I think I told my mom this and she's like, what? No. And she gives me this weird book with these like cartoon fat people having sex. And they're like mushed together and they're like, having sex is like getting a big hug and it's like being tickled.
But it feels so good.
It feels so good. I was appalled. I'm like, what goes where? Oh, didn't get it.
Poor analogy because no one likes getting tickled. It hurts. I remember it like hurting. Like it was not. I don't know. We laugh because it's a reflex, but
Wait,
it's really
tickling
painful.
or sex?
Tickling.
Just
I
kidding.
just think it was a weird. It was a weird book.
Yeah. Though I think like that might be one that is a new one for like. I don't think anyone thinks kissing leads to babies. Do you think that's a common one?
That's a common like miss.
Now I feel better.
Yeah.
Because I feel like another one was like something to do with belly buttons. Isn't that one?
No, another one was I don't know. Wait, what is this from? Where she thinks that she's in a grocery store and then the guy is behind her and they touch butts because she bent over at the same time that he bent over and she thought she could get pregnant that way. What is
Is
that?
that a book or a movie?
Could be a book.
Yeah. Judy Blume book maybe?
Yeah,
or something?
something. Dang, wish I knew.
Yeah,
If
I
you
mean,
know, let us know.
There's a lot of confusion. So I would just like to say, Amy Heckerling, director of Look Who's Talking,
Thanks a
you
lot.
seriously confused me and made me look like an idiot for a long time. So thank you.
Well, here's what I was confused about. I thought for the longest time that was like real time sperm and egg situation. I was like, wow, they got a camera in there and they filmed that sperm going in there and fertilizing the egg. That is crazy. That is some technology right there. That is some good technology.
It's animation.
Yeah, of course it is. But
No,
when
but it looks like they do have those videos. They can do that.
what?
Yeah, you haven't seen them?
No, but
Look
this
it up.
in this time? No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I-
I think so.
Desmond,
Some serious
um,
cat hijinks going on.
he's eating your pad thai. You better close that. So yeah, I thought that was a thing. I may have also thought the baby inside was a real baby, like inside somebody's womb. I got confused. I also got confused in Forrest Gump. I thought he was actually they somehow managed to like film a scene with like Richard Nixon before Tom Hanks was born. So,
Yeah,
that-
but
so
those are,
with
like,
the like
fucked up
knowing.
looking babies in that though.
I
Like
know.
ick.
I see it now, but when you're a small child, you don't realize these things.
Okay. So yeah, so that was like the first thing that I remember about it. And definitely also a movie where I saw this way too young and was like, what is that? What does this mean? Like, I was like, what is bulimia? I had no idea what that meant. Like, and all those jokes surrounding the wife's bulimia, so far over my head.
Such an 80s, 90s thing.
Yeah, bulimia, totally. Eating disorders, or just
We just
something
didn't.
you
We
joked about.
Yeah, we just didn't know enough back then.
I know.
It's like being gay. It's like the gay jokes in the 80s movies. Like we just
Right.
no clue.
So weird.
So dumb.
So yeah, so that's like really what I remember. The scenes that really stuck out. Yeah, all like the sexual scenes, I guess.
What? Those stick out.
This
to you?
is my sexual awakening.
I just like the perspective of the baby. I think it's very funny.
yeah.
Like when he comes out of he's in his she gets the drugs to make the pain stop when she's giving birth. And then, so he's all like psychedelic in the womb. He's like, whoa, check out this arm. Look at this hand. Yeah. And then he goes down the birth canal. And then all of a sudden, that scary doctor's face is in his face. And Empress Willis is just like, oh, who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? Like everyone in the delivery room, he's like, who are you? I know. I wish they had kept that going, like from the baby's perspective, a little bit more. They don't really do that.
Like the camera?
Turns, yeah,
but
and then
I
it's
think,
just him.
but in terms of but it's not as funny after he's older because he's seen those people before. Yeah. So I don't think there's as much to get surprised about. But they do keep his perspective in terms of what he's talking about and saying. So just funny things, I guess. I can't think of them now, but it's very funny how they do it. And I read in the trivia that
on the trivia wagon
either that
me.
Rugrats was influenced highly by this, or this was influenced by Rugrats.
And did you also read how Amy Heckerling got the idea for this movie because her husband was making funny when she was pregnant, making funny noises of what the baby would be saying?
But it makes sense because that's my favorite part about Rugrats is what they think certain things are. I just love that, and so that is really portrayed here nicely. I think it's great. Oh, another great one is the baby perspective when he's in the nursery with all the other babies. And all the babies have, these distinct personalities. There's, an Indian one who is, reincarnated, is Gandhi or something. Yeah. And he's like, I did not think I would be reincarnated so soon. And then, later he's like, I just remembered I hate childhood. And he cries. He's very upset. There's another one that's like, who took my sucky thing? Who took my sucky thing? And they're all crying. And then Mikey's like, man, I really got to get my own place.
Yeah, and I like when there's other babies get brought into it, and I think that's why the second one I think is so much better because there's more babies, all the funny babies. Yep. There's just so many of them in all different ages, and how those kids interact with each other is so fun. This one you really only get Mikey kind of hit with the adults and just questioning all that stuff, but it's not other babies to bounce off.
True,
but yeah. Lots of stuff about giving birth in the late 80s. Question.
Yeah.
Where did Lamaze go?
Still around.
Is it?
I think it's part of a birthing class.
Okay, because I just feel like it's not a thing anymore. All of my friends, I have not heard them mention Lamaze.
My question is, was it a normal thing to have an old lady sit with you in the delivery room and she just read the newspaper?
That was weird.
And yelled at you because you were being annoying? That was very weird. Where was her mom?
Why was she by herself? Yeah. And
her friend who was like, what happened to her?
Friends, Molly.
Well, it's back, you got to leave a message on the machine. You got to get back to your apartment. She probably was arrested because she was beating up Alfred Pennyworth.
There's the weird thing with the baby seat in the front seat. James just plops the baby seat in the front seat of his cab. Oof. Not cool.
Oh, but also back to the delivery. My favorite part is when she's like, I need the drugs, and the lady won't give them to her. And she's like, all of a sudden she gets this crazy demon voice, and she's like, give me the drugs! Or something. What did she say?
What did she say? Fuck it's some F word thing.
Damn it. We'll think about it. But I love that part. It's very funny. Very accurate, I think.
Use your breathing, maybe? And she's like, fuck my breathing. It's really funny.
It's good.
Yeah. So, what else is just so superb about this movie?
I think it's funny that how quickly she accepts James, in her life. I mean, if you think of this today, and a taxi cab driver showed up at your door and was like, "Hey, how's the baby?" You'd be like, "What the fuck? I'm calling the cops." Can you imagine? It would be terrifying. But she just accepts it. She's like, "Oh, you." He brings back her purse. She's like, "Great, that's nice." So on their third meeting, she ends up falling asleep, and James thinks it's a great idea to put her in her bed and then take Mikey out to where he gives his pilot lessons, hit on a girl with big boobs, and then, not done there, goes to visit his grandpa at the home. So how long did that trip take? Maybe 2-3 hours? That's insane. Yeah. And she wakes up, she's in a panic, she calls the cops.
Bad decision.
Such a bad decision. So he does make bad decisions.
Oh,
he is a scam artist. He has ways to make free long distance phone calls, gets free meals, just all these things.
Yeah. I mean, their relationship kind of confuses me because they're like he calls her like baby all the time, and they're like very, very friendly and flirty, but they don't even like consider like hooking up. I don't know. And like, how old is James? If Molly's 33, like how old do you think James is?
I don't know. I'd like to know more about his life. He talks briefly about his father.
Okay, that part was weird.
I guess it's okay. So let's go over so in this scene, he is talking to Mikey about what he learned from his father. Here are some of the things he learned. No matter how much grief a woman gives you, you should never hit her.
No,
So
don't hit girls, even if they're asking for it.
even if they're asking for it,
Ouch.
don't hit a girl.
What? And then the joke, the little babies goes like, "What about? Can you push them?"
No, Mikey, you misogynistic fuck.
Ixnay on the domestic abuse.
Yeah, what?
Yikes.
90s. Ugh.
Another one was, a dad's job is to keep mom happy so she doesn't drive the kids crazy. Is that the dad's job? News to me.
What is this? This is weird. I guess
Horrible advice.
maybe that's why his dad's not around. He's a weird guy.
My favorite advice was my dad told me, if your friends jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, is it okay for you to?
Oh my god, so original.
Ugh. And he's like, that's the one that sticks with me a lot.
Yeah, because your dad didn't fucking make that up, you dummy.
It was a weird
It was
scene.
very weird.
I don't remember it being like that bad, those things. I was just like, oh, James is so sweet. He's like, and even Molly's like listening. So she comes home and she's like listening to it over the baby monitor. And she's like, oh my God, James is so sweet. Like talking to Mikey, blah, blah, blah.
I'd
and
be
giving him horrible advice.
I'd be like, get the fuck out of there. Don't talk to my kid about, like, a girl's asking for it to get hit. I thought we were past this.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the sequel, like, so they really don't have, like, anything in common. I think they're very attracted to each other and have a lot of fun, but they really don't have anything in common. And in the sequel, once they're married, like, that really becomes apparent because they get into a lot of fights in the sequel, remember?
Yep. And it's a little scary. There's some tense moments, but yeah, man, the 90s. I mean, who needs a baby seat when you can just take that car seat, plop it in the front seat of a taxi cab?
That wasn't even a real car seat. That was like, what,
It was a carrier.
I don't even know if it was.
It was before
maybe.
they made the
Or when you, like,
carriers that
put it
can
on the table.
convert. Yeah. Before you can make them convert into car seats. This was like, it was not a car seat. He just plops them in that front seat, puts the seatbelt over him. Oh, I guess he's secure. Not to mention, James is like the worst taxi cab driver I've ever seen.
Yeah. He's also a pilot, though. That's
Right.
like
He's
a
just doing this to make money so that he can work on getting his pilot license, which he don't. Spoiler alert, he does get in the second movie. He's a pilot.
big plot
He's a
point of
commercial
the second.
airline pilot, right? Or
Yeah.
no? Isn't
Well, he does the small plane.
Oh yeah,
but
but then he gets the commercial one at the end, and there's a storm. Yeah, okay, I remember. Good flick. We'll cover that soon. I know you're waiting for it.
I really enjoy the soundtrack of this movie. It's another one that was so well chosen. Mostly oldies. A lot of Beach Boys.
What's the one that's Janis Joplin?
Janis Joplin. Yep.
Jimi Hendrix was the
Jimi
tripping out one.
Hendrix. Yep. Yeah, a lot of. I was doing the Beach Boys is the beginning one. Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Post. Oh, that's in the second one. Yeah, I'm like confusing the two. But yeah, so really good oldie soundtrack that's just like really fits really well. I think with this movie and some good small little. Oh, Walking on Sunshine.
Oh yeah.
I feel alive. I feel alive. I feel alive.
I'm a baby talking. Yeah, it's good.
I can't sing. I'm gonna cough.
No.
And some good John Travolta dancing moves in that scene.
But not as good as the second movie, which has an amazing
my
dance
God,
scene.
the
God,
Elvis song.
we should have just watched that. I mean, I love this movie, but the second one really has some great moments. Yeah. We have there's one line in this that we use in our everyday life. That is when she's like, Mikey's trying her hair with one of those like tiny little, those like pint-sized hair dryers. We used to have one in the downstairs bathroom, in case you ever use that. But she's like, everybody loves you. Mona loves you. Grandma loves you. The ladies at work loves you. Blah, blah, blah loves you. She like lists all these people.
Random people. She's like, the postman loves you. The grocery store clerk loves you.
Yeah, you said everyone loves me. I get it. So yeah, we say that with Emily's cat a lot. I'll say that. I'll be like, everyone loves you, Moosh. I love you. Sweetie loves you. Robin loves you. Lala loves you. It's great. So that's our one line. We have many more that we use from the second movie. So
get
ready for that. Oh yeah,
I feel like I've used that one before. A selfish face.
When have you used that? Because somebody told you they were going through a selfish phase? I don't think so.
I think you
just liked it.
I just love how she slowly freaks out. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm like about to give birth to your baby, and you're going through a selfish phase. Like, fuck
bad.
off, dude.
Bad situation.
You're old. I hate you.
Such a bad situation. Here.
Excuse me.
Oh my god, you guys. Okay, here's a good question. You may have to think about it. If you were a baby, which actor would you want to be your voice?
Good question. I would choose Emily Dumas. Kidding.
You're not an actress.
Nuts. I would choose. I don't know. Like, what do you base it on? Who would be like a fun voice for you?
Or like your personality, or like, yeah, that would be funny. I was thinking, although I don't enjoy this, but everyone thinks that I remind them of, maybe like Janine Garofalo.
She's kind of down and out, though. No?
For me?
Yeah.
What do you mean? She's not around anymore? She's around.
No, like a sad, somber
I have like
baby.
a sad voice.
You're a sad, somber baby?
I don't know. I just picture Daria. I'm Daria. That's what I think. Or Sarah Silverman would be one. But maybe for
Mine
you,
would be really
Demi Moore. I don't know.
what?
Sandy Bullock.
Mine needs to be peppy.
Who's Peppy?
I don't know. Tell me.
Amy Adams. Just kidding. Isla Fisher.
Where are they all redheads?
I don't know. I'm just
I don't
guessing.
know. I have to think on that. I like Roseanne when she was in the. Roseanne did the second one, and she was really good.
She's so good in that.
Kind of cranky though. I wouldn't be a cranky.
Kind of
baby.
great though.
Yeah.
Kind of great.
Yeah.
Kind of great though. And my other favorite scene is when, so at some point Albert says, "Oh, I love you so much. Like, I want to meet Mikey." So she takes Mikey to his office, and it's just a very funny scene because she's like, she wears this pretty dress, she does her hair, and then makes Mikey wear his little lamb overalls. And they get there, and Albert's a dick as per usual. Yeah. Basically ends up saying, "Oh, I love you, but I don't really want to be a father right now." She's pissed, so she like changes Mikey's diaper on his like brand new fancy desk. He's like, "Molly, this was a $2,000
No,
desk."
first you're doing the part where the baby poops his diaper.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we cracked up.
So Mikey makes like a face like he's pooping his pants.
Horrible farting
And then,
noise.
it's a farting noise. And then Albert's like, "What's that? Is he taking a dump?" And then you see, cut to the baby, and Bruce Willis, as the baby, is like, "Oh, too much fruit."
I'm dying. It was so funny. I forgot that part. Too much fruit.
So then she grabs him, changes him on his fancy, expensive table. And he's like, "Molly, no, that's a $3,000 table, $10,000 table." She takes the poopy diaper. You can see the poop in it, and then slams it down. "Now it's junk."
I love that scene. It's so good.
Now it's junk.
She's great.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
I forgot, like, she did a lot of stuff because she was in Cheers, and then she did, I feel like, all these movies in like the late 80s or 80s.
Veronica's Closet.
Oh my god! And she was in Veronica's Closet, and then she really thinned down on Dancing with the Stars, and then did like Jenny Craig or something,
And then got fat again.
Yeah.
But wasn't she a Scientologist? Isn't she a Scientologist too?
Oh yes. And
Oh.
so IMDb trivia fact. Did you read this one?
Yeah.
Where she fell in love with John Travolta on this movie, but stayed true to her marriage,
Please.
unlike Albert, and didn't like act on it. But what? How could you not? Sweetie little John Travolta.
No, this really is like, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say peak John Travolta.
Well, he said this movie is the one that he acts
the most like himself.
Which is interesting.
Sure, that makes sense. I mean, I think his peak was maybe Saturday Night Fever era, would you say? For us, it was this era, but I think in his
Grease.
general life, yeah.
Oh, well, he was in Welcome Back, Kotter.
Right. So, like, maybe that was his peak. I don't know. But this, I think, I found him really attractive. And I'm like, dang, too bad he got fat and weird and stuff. Because he was great. I love his chin dimple.
Oh,
It's quite a sight to see. It's a sight to see. His little dance moves. It's great. What are you doing?
I'm just looking at Kirstie Alley movies. Oh my god, she's in Loverboy? She's having a baby?
I would just like to point out that there's also a third Look Who's Talking
Summer
movie
School.
called Look Who's Talking Also. Wait, no. What's the third one called?
Oh, Look Who's Talking Now with the dogs.
That's what this one is. Look Who's Talking Now.
No, Look Who's Talking 2.
No, what's the first? What's this one called?
Look Who's Talking.
Oh.
Oh my god.
I was like, this does not make sense. Yeah, where the
No.
dogs talk. That movie was dumb.
That was the dumbest.
Yeah, no, it's not a.
That
That's
is
not a good one.
The trequel is not good.
Yeah, quit while you're ahead.
You call it? Oh yeah, she's in North and South. She was in something called The Prince of Bel-Air, which was a movie and it was not a show with Will Smith. Oh, that's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I was like, what? We're missing
That's close.
something.
Summer School,
I remember that.
Hitchhiker, Shoot to Kill, don't know that one. Masquerade.
Well, wow. I'm glad
Something, Madhouse.
we're
Mom.
so well versed in Kirstie Alley.
And then did Cheers.
Filmography.
Oh my god, she was in Wings.
Oh my
Whoa.
god, Wings.
Oh my god, she's the same category in Cheers. Wait,
what?
Wings is
What
a
do you mean?
spin-off of Cheers?
Everything is a spin-off
Oh
of
my
Cheers.
God, guys, my mind is blown. Oh my god, she's in It Takes Two.
Yeah, that was like her seminal. That was like her main movie in the 90s.
What? For richer or poorer? Look at that
All
one.
right, there's a lot here. So
Toothless?
okay,
Sorry, I'm just like the last.
you are having a ball. You are so happy.
I guess she's in Scream Queens now.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, guys. I don't
Go
know.
Kirstie.
I think Kirstie Alley's cool. She's actually pretty pretty in this.
She's so pretty. What a babe.
Yeah.
Such a babe.
Total
Although I'm not sure about those pregnancy dresses with like they're basically just a sack with a bow on the top on the collar.
Crazy 90s headband.
Oh, yeah.
She like really rocked.
There's
that
one I
headband.
like with the polka dots. That one's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally.
Yeah, she was funny. But yeah.
Solid
What
flick.
else? Oh, weird question about Abe Vigoda because we were watching this. So Abe Vigoda just died recently. He must have been like 200 years old.
Can you look that up?
Because he was. This movie was in '89, so this movie's almost 30 years old, and he was like old in this. Like either he's a really good actor or he lived to be like 1,000.
Let's
That's
see.
really inaccurate. So how do I find this out?
Well, look at when he died. How old was he when he died?
Well, he was 94 when he died.
Wow.
He was in his 60s.
So this movie was in the 89, so he was 60. So yeah, he was definitely playing. He was playing up the old. I mean, I'm not surprised because his eyebrows are so insane that those must have been glue-ons. Because no one has eyebrows that big. Those used to like really scare me when I was little. Those eyebrows.
He's kind of gross though.
And his ears are like covered with like hair on the inside, very
What was the
long.
other gross part of the movie? Oh, the weird dream.
Oh yeah, we hate that part. That part's gross. So and I like the part where she has a like. There's a lot of not dream sequences, but like she's thinking and visualizing what's
Yeah.
happening. And there's one where Albert's like, "I love you. I'm gonna burst if you don't come back to me." And she's like, "Tough." And then his head explodes like Scanner style, except instead of blood, it's like glitter that like explodes it into. So it's not as scary, but it did still scare me when I was little. I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
Exploding heads. Ooh.
So, question: if you were 33 and you got knocked up by your accountant client boyfriend who was married with 2 kids, would you have the baby?
I don't think. Well, I don't think so. But I would be more on her mother's side, who's like, "You're very pretty. You should be able to find a guy."
She goes out with the ugliest dudes in this.
I don't understand.
Me
She's an
either.
accountant, so she's like boxed into the accountant pool.
They are like seriously tragic looking dates she goes on. She goes on like a couple dates in this, and they're obviously like very much exaggerated, like worst dates of your life kind of dates. And it's sad. She's like intense, but she seems like a lot of fun.
So I'm with Olympia on this.
Yeah.
I think she needs to dream big.
Yeah.
Really go for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, she does have a solid, like a steady job, an amazing apartment in Manhattan. So it's not like
What's up with that apartment?
well, it was the 80s, 90s. So It
Must have been rent control.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they still live there in the second one. So there must be at least 3 bedrooms.
Oh my god, she must be doing well.
Yeah, and as a CPA,
You make pretty good money.
wild.
Yeah, this was also like '89 though, when everyone was like doing well. Thank you, Bill Clinton.
Thanks, Bill. Miss
He
you.
was until '92, but so.
Miss you, bitch.
Yeah.
No
No chance of another Clinton.
Okay. All right. On that note, but this movie did do a pretty good job of cheering us up, I think.
Yeah. Got some good solid laughs in there.
So good
I
work.
might only cry for an hour when I get home.
What?
Instead of 3.
No.
Kidding. I'm over the crying.
Good.
I'm
Good.
fine.
You're in the anger stage.
But thanks for hanging out with us, guys. I hope this maybe brightened your day, being able to have another little podcast to add to the mix. We love you lots.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.